Have you ever wondered what it's like to live in Brighton, Michigan? Well, you better stick around because I am going to do a virtual tour of Brighton, Michigan. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Andrew McMahon here with Living in Michigan, coming to you with, as promised, a little tour of the Brighton, Michigan area, and I'll break it down virtually on this map here to give you an idea of what this amazing city has to offer. So, stick around as I jump into this. So just breaking down this area, as you can see, my cursor has a little blue circle around it so you can follow me around, but Brighton is a very small area, as you can see here by these borders. There is a misconception, though, that there are a lot of surrounding townships that make up Brighton still. As you can see, Mount Brighton Ski Resort isn't technically in Brighton, but the townships make it up. I know it doesn't make sense right now, but bear with me while I explain and do a little drawing on the map here. So, alright, and just to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about as far as the townships, this is right here, Green Oak Township, and this is where I was born. And then we have Brighton Township, which is right here. And then Genoa Township is over here, followed by Hamburg Township, which is down here. And then to the left, which is on the border of Brighton, the Brighton area, which would be Marion Township on this side, and then Putnam Township on this side. So this is obviously a very, very rough estimate, but this just gives you an idea of essentially the 4 townships that make up the Brighton area. So the cool thing, if you can just at a glance taking a look at Brighton here, is the convenience of these expressways. I mean, take a look at this, the intersecting US 23 and I-96. You just get right out of the city and hop right on the expressway, and you can go practically anywhere just taking a look at this area. So that was a very huge convenience factor for me growing up for the last 20 something years. I did recently move to White Lake, and that's over in this area here, and the expressways are, as you can see, few and far between because we're having to either go this way or go that way. So that is the convenience of Brighton in that aspect. And despite the city feel, a lot of people that you talk to about Brighton will say areas like Grand River are just, and people will say they're just a disaster, just dealing with Grand River. So Grand River is just this main road that kind of comes through this whole town here, and that's usually what's been chocked full of all the businesses and basically the point where everybody goes through to get to where they need to go. And you're stuck at lights, and that is kind of the downside of Brighton. But despite that city feel, there still is this huge area of trees. This is obviously a little outside, but there's this huge area of trees, and Brighton was actually honored by the Arbor Day Foundation as a national tree city. So, like I said, despite that city feel, there's a lot of trees in the area, so it's very nice. It has a mix of both worlds in that aspect. And again, like I said, I grew up in the area. I went to Scranton Middle School, which is right here. I went to Brighton High School right here, Maltby Intermediate School, which is right there. And then just down the road, I went to college at Clear University in Howell. That's not in Brighton, it's in Howell, but that just goes to show how close I've been all these years. So just jumping to a little bit of the areas that people kind of get brought to over here, and that's, in my opinion, just being a fisherman and someone who likes the outdoors, Island Lake Recreation Area has been just an amazing spot. Obviously you have the lake shooting range here. It's all recreation for the bikes, the rollerblades, and for me it was the fishing in this area. There were so many different lakes and little ponds in the area to just try fishing everywhere, and that has been a huge thing that I have spent growing up with. And on top of that, as you can see right here, Kensington Valley Ice House, that is an ice rink, and a lot of cities aren't fortunate enough to have that there. I grew up playing hockey, so that was a huge plus for me, whereas most people will have to travel a couple cities over to have that luxury. So very grateful for that. So jumping to some of the cool spots in downtown Brighton on Main Street here. So I would say, I know some people might not agree with me, but I would have to say, based on some of these coffee places and some of the better places that people would visit down here, just a shout out to my friends at the Brighton Coffee House and Theater. This is such a cool little coffee place because, one, the menu is gigantic when it comes to coffee, and two, you get entertainment with your coffee. So it was something that actually just one idea led to another. They merged and created this cool idea. So shout out to the Goalers for making that amazing place there. And then jumping over to the pubs and bars, as you can see, if you're someone who likes to jump around in the bars, you can go to, Lou and Carl's, which is a corner spot here that a lot of people go to. You can go to Champs, you can go to Stout, and then there's so many different areas throughout Main Street that you can go. And that's actually a very common thing in Brighton, is people will do a lot of festive bar crawls and just get a drink here, get a drink, go there, go here. And that is just something a lot of people like to do. So as far as Italian, I am a huge fan of Ciao Amici's right here. It's upscale Italian, and that is just the greatest Italian food right there. And hopping over to sushi. If you're a sushi fan, I would highly recommend going over to Sushi Zen. I know there's more than one of these, but they do a great job here, and it's very conveniently placed next to a Thai Express, which is very good too. So Sushi Zen, and then this is an amazing spot for barbecue, and you're gonna have to check this out if you're in the Brighton area. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to them. Go visit their menu, go take a look at their hours, and you're gonna have to get some barbecue there. And then as far as breakfast places, one of the better places I would say is the Breakfast Club here, right in downtown Brighton off of Grand River. And then on Old US 23, which is this road here, is Cheryl's Place right here. And they have a lot of awards actually for how good their breakfast is. So I went ahead and put these 3 squares here for the new construction homes that are in the area in Brighton. So for the first one, this is the Bluffs at Spring Hill, which was done by Pulte Homes. This one is in the 360 range for starting into the mid 500s with 6 different home designs, 2 to 4 bedrooms, 2 to 3 bathrooms, and a 2-car garage. And they are doing 16 to 1900 square feet. All right, jumping to the next one. This is Willow Woods, which is done by Lombardo Homes. This one is starting in the 360s as well, with 18 to 2800 square feet, 3 to 5 bedrooms, 2 to 4 bathrooms, and a 2-car garage. Jumping to the next one here on the bottom, this is Green Oak Crossing. This one is done by MI Homes. And these are starting in the 320,000s, and it's between 1,500 and 2,600 square feet, but a lot of times they find themselves in the mid 500s depending on the package. They have 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, or 3-bedroom, 3-bath, and they have ranch and single family options. And then in the nearby areas, not just in the Brighton area but other areas, they have the Oak Grove Meadows, Town Commons, and then South Lyon. They have Oak Ridge, Marion Creek, Lion Preserve, and much more. So there's a lot of development going on in the areas here. And just to note, so a couple people who actually came from Brighton, and some of them actually still live in Brighton, I will show you. So the notable names is actually, I don't know if you're going to know them, but if you do, comment below if you know these people. So the first person is Drew Henson, who was a quarterback for the Houston Texans, Dallas Cowboys, Minnesota Vikings, and Detroit Lions, and he attended Brighton High School. And then there's Jonathan Merrill, who actually is a defenseman for the NHL's Detroit Red Wings and was raised in Brighton. The next one is Mickey Stanley. Everyone should know this person, the center fielder for the Detroit Tigers, was a World Series champion in 1968. And last but not least, Morgan Trent, who was the cornerback for the Cincinnati Bengals, Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Washington Redskins, and lived in Brighton. So that's just a few notable names there. Alright, so taking a final look at Brighton, as I mentioned, there's just so much to do in the area. You can see MJR here at the end, you can see the ski resort here, you can see all these rec areas that you can bike, you can hike, you can walk, you can fish, you can do so many different things there, and there's so many events there, and I will link the events page down below just so you don't miss out on anything throughout the 4 seasons that Michigan has. So some other notable places, there's obviously some fitness centers, there's the ice rink like I mentioned, and all these different lakes and the convenience of this expressway like I mentioned earlier. It was really cool of the city of Brighton to do to shut down some of these streets over the weekends to allow the companies to accommodate the guidelines for the pandemic and really allow them to keep the doors open. Well, a lot of these companies were on the border too, and I think just shutting down the roads and allowing them to branch out a little bit really helped these businesses stay afloat, so that was very cool for Brighton to do. And then just kind of taking a little stroll down Grand River here, you can see a lot more businesses. There's no shortages of things to do. There's options, and that was something that was really cool. As small as this town is, there's options. I mean, it's not like you just have one pizza place here and that's it. I mean, you have 8 to 10 different pizza places, and you have the option and you have the freedom to make those decisions. And that was something that I really appreciated growing up. You never, it wasn't one of those one-horse towns with one Little Caesars and you just had to eat that every pizza night. You have, Jet's Pizza, you have Little Caesars, and you have all these different mom and pop pizza places and bars and grills. So that was a cool aspect of growing up, that's for sure. But if anyone actually has any questions about Brighton or the surrounding areas, because I know a lot of these cities are very clumped together, maybe a little bit different than what you're used to in other states, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help. My contact information's in my channel. And again, if you need any help, just let me know, and I'm glad to be a local resource for Michigan. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next week's video.